Hey guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and today Apple announced the new iPhone 11 Pro series and the iPhone 11. In this video, I'd like to go ahead and compare the two, see how much more you're getting for the extra $400. There's now an even bigger difference in prices between the two, and a lot of people are wondering, is it worth the extra $400? So at this point, from what we know before release, I've compiled all of the differences and would like to talk to you about those. A funny thing that I noticed is now that everything Apple is Pro, technically their entire lineup has a Pro attached to it besides AirPods. It's funny that my name is Everything Apple Pro. Anyways, so the iPhone 11 is ridiculously good. Like for $699, that's a very formidable price for this type of smartphone for what you're getting features-wise. And I'm sorry about the re-upload. I mistook it for $599, not sure where I got that from. This is a $700 smartphone, not $600. Now these devices do not have as many differences as the iPhone XR did with the XS, so this should be a little simpler. And it all starts with the design. First off, they're fairly close in design. Obviously these are dummies, I don't have the real deal just yet, but I can give you a pretty good idea. Lenses, look pretty close to each other. This one, instead of being a zoom lens, is an ultra wide lens. So the only lens missing from the iPhone 11 series is the telephoto lens, which allows you to zoom 2 times. And instead you can zoom out 2 times. So technically it does still have optical zoom, just not the 2 times outwards zoom that the 11 Pro will have. Now in terms of screen size, the iPhone 11 keeps the same 6.1 inch display. The iPhone 11 Pro has a 5.8 and a 6.5 inch display. It's perfectly nestled between the two. It's very comfortable. If you can't decide between a very large display or a smallish display, it's definitely a good blend in between them. And a lot of people that had XRs really have nothing to complain. Like it's a good size. Aside from the thick bezels, which the iPhone 11 Pro has slightly thinner bezels, same as the XS essentially here, you're really getting a fantastic display for $600. Not much to complain about at all. The biggest difference here being that it's an LCD display. This one is Apple's new Super Retina XDR display, which is borrowing some calibration techniques from their new Mac Pro display, and it's supposedly the best display ever on a smartphone. It's using Samsung's latest technology panels, the same ones found in the Galaxy Note 10 series, so it's the latest technology, and it gets even brighter than the XS. So this can go up to 1200 nits now versus before 625, and on average content, non-HDR content, you're gonna see around 800 nits. So Apple is touting it as an even better display in direct sunlight, better than that of the iPhone 11 here. This one can only get up to 625 nits. So in terms of raw display power quality, you're getting more here on the iPhone 11 Pro, and that's kind of important. That's basically what you're interacting with. But for most people, you just don't care about that kind of stuff. Why does it matter that the pixel density on this thing is a little sharper at 456 versus 326 on the iPhone 11? I mean, not much of a difference for the average user. Yes, it's not as sharp. Yes, it may not be as bright in certain environments. Yes, the viewing angles may not be as amazing. And yes, maybe the pixels don't go completely black like on an organic LED display. But it's still a fantastic display, one of the best in modern smartphones. So for most people that have had the iPhone XR, they haven't really complained about the display. You're getting a trade-off. If you want a better display, upgrade to the better iPhone. But just wanted to say, yes, it's an inferior display, but everyone in the past has pretty much had a good experience with it. So don't really worry about that too much. And it's a good sizing, just fantastic display for an LCD. Also, one more thing to consider is that the new iPhone 11 Pro no longer has 3D Touch. So the feature found on the XS will no longer happen on the iPhone 11 Pro from force. It's replaced by a feature called Smart Touch. So just like on the iPhone XR, you hold an icon and then you get the same contextual menu. It's definitely not as intuitive as 3D Touch, having to hold and wait, but iOS 13 levels that playing field. It's all right. It's like you'll get used to it pretty quick. Replaces 3D Touch for most areas. That's a non-factor when deciding between the two. Also, one thing to consider is finishes. The iPhone 11 has 6 colors. The iPhone 11 Pro only has 4, one of them being the new midnight green color. Looks fantastic, and the rest we've already seen: space gray, gold, and silver. Although this one, the color palette is entirely different. Even the yellow is a different shade now. It's not as vibrant, more muted, more of a pastel color palette on the iPhone 11 series. I actually really like it. And in person, looks really good, just not as vibrant. Looks a little like it was washed out, but still pretty cool. Also in terms of feeling, the iPhone 11 Pro is gonna have that matte backing, and that's probably one of the best things about the iPhone when you pick it up. A lot of people are saying it just feels different because of that. Very nice premium coating here. And inside of the lens, it's a gloss coating, clear but gloss look. Now on the iPhone 11, it's exactly reversed. So on the back, it's a gloss feeling, just like on the iPhone XR. And in the camera lens, it's a matte feeling. So it's a reversed finish, kind of a nice little touch there on the lineup. I like that. And both of these models will be sharing the world's toughest glass on a smartphone ever. So Apple is machining this glass out of a single solid block of glass, which is interesting. I don't know if any other smartphone has done something similar. Looks very cool. And as a result, Apple has implemented its latest dual ion technology. You're getting the strongest glass on both the front and the back. So that's a non-factor when deciding between them. In terms of durability, though, the difference is that the iPhone 11 Pro can be submerged up to 4 meters for 30 minutes, whereas the iPhone 11 can only be for 2. Although that's even an upgrade over the XR, which had a 1 meter submersion for 30 minutes. So either way, you're getting water resistance on both. It's just if you're actually planning on going in a pool, maybe with some actual depth, the 11 Pro would be the one to consider. I still would use a case on both. My XS Max just went belly up in the bath from some very light water damage. I don't understand why. So I personally wouldn't even trust that. And also materials for the borders. The iPhone 11 is still aluminum, a matte aluminum feeling. The 11 Pro is a glossy stainless steel. That adds more heft, but gives it more of a premium feeling over the base model 11. When it comes to cameras, these are closer than you think. The only thing missing is the telephoto 2x zoom lens. Both are getting the new ultra-wide lens camera. So that's an upgrade, a huge upgrade, even from the XR series to the iPhone 11. Now, that surprised me. I didn't think it'd be getting that ultra-wide lens, and Apple's really giving you a value here. Both are getting all of those new software tricks, night mode feature, and the flash unit itself is growing in intensity by 36%. So that'll be 36% brighter on both. Front-facing cameras are being upgraded to 12 megapixels on both. So all around, you're getting some huge camera upgrades regardless of which iPhone you choose. That's good. If you want that little bit of extra zoom by 2 times, the iPhone 11 Pro, of course, is the one to go for. And one feature that wasn't entirely clear was Deep Fusion, a feature coming to the 11 Pro. Not sure if it's coming to the 11, where 9 images are combined to make the perfect photo every single time. 4 of those being taken before the shutter button is even pressed. That's cool, and I'm sure Apple will elaborate, we'll find out in a bit, but that may be exclusive to the 11 Pro. And a very surprising area where the iPhone 11 Pro has elevated itself over the iPhone 11 is battery life. Apple has upgraded the batteries on the entire lineup, although this is the first time ever where the premium line has better battery life than the mid-tier line. So last year the XR had better battery life, not so this year. Actual spec sheet reveals that it's better in every single area, both on the regular and the Max version. So that's amazing to see, but you won't be going wrong with either one. Even the 11 has an hour of additional battery life over the XR. And from what we're hearing, one area where Apple is skimping on to provide you with that very great $600 value on the 11 is the fast charging. So the iPhone 11 will not be getting the 18-watt fast charger in the box, and I'm assuming that includes the USB-C to Lightning cable. That won't be happening either. It'll just be the standard 5 watts and USB-A to Lightning cable. So you'll only be getting fast charging out of the box on the 11 Pro series. In terms of storage, exactly the same as before. The iPhone 11 starting at 64 gigabytes, 128 and topping out at 256. Here you're getting more flexibility, so you're going from 64 to 256 to 512 gigabytes, but of course you're going to be paying dearly for that as storage is not cheap. Pricing here is the most surprising part of the iPhone 11 release. $700 starting point, $699. That's $50 less than its predecessor, the iPhone XR. That's amazing. You know, you would expect it to be higher, even the same, but not lower. So Apple has really outdone themselves in terms of that, and I think that this is going to be a huge, huge winner. You know, for $400, what are you getting in a nutshell on the 11 Pro? A slightly better camera, possibly better photos with Deep Fusion. You're getting even better battery life, of course, that organic LED display, more options for display sizes. You're getting more premium finishes and better water resistance. If that's worth $400 for you, by all means do upgrade from the 11, but the value that this provides is amazing. I've never seen Apple provide so much value for the price tag before, so very impressed on that. One more thing to note is AppleCare. It is $50 more expensive on the 11 Pro at $200, $150 here. And the case choice options from Apple's OEM cases, a little bit more diverse on the 11 Pro. You're only getting a black and white silicone option here and then the clear case. Here you're getting a lot more, and then leather cases, of course. So there it is, guys. The difference between the 11 and 11 Pro mostly comes down to the camera and screen type. There are some smaller ones in between, and battery life, of course, is better here. Hopefully I helped break this down for you. Yes, there is a pretty big difference between the two, but you're getting so much for your money that it's hard to justify in most cases for most people, unless you're a professional user of an iPhone. What does that even mean? Then $400 just won't cut it, and that chasm grows even more with storage. So Apple, you've done well here. The 11 seems to be the best value here. Let me know your thoughts on that down below.